Hello and welcome to the Swim Brief. My favorite bearded Pac-12 coach, Matt Leach. How are you, Matt?
I'm great. How are you, Chris?
I'm catching you, you're rested and relaxed on the end of Pac-12 season, right? You went to NCAAs, and since then it's been nothing but laying on the couch watching Netflix, right?
Yeah, right. I wish that was the case. It's getting ready for trials and getting some more of our student athletes to qualify for trials and, training and making sure we're getting ready for not only the summer to swim well, but, next season, which we're really excited for.
Yeah. And I can imagine it's been like, I feel like it's just trite to say like, this is a really hard college season. Like everybody knows, but I feel particularly even I've been on the club end of it, and it's sort of counted my blessings for the year to have work in a place where we control our own water and all this stuff. And, I know to a certain extent, university programs like have a lot of influence over their water, but I can imagine it was an extremely challenging year in terms of running a Division I program. So just give me some insight, like walk it back a little bit. At what point did you even feel certain that there was going to be a collegiate season this past year?
Well, getting back to that pool time, we're really, being blessed, being grateful for everyone that's working hard to get you in the water. We're lucky enough to pretty much have our own pool during this time when, we're doing online classes. So that was a blessing in disguise.
So at the start of the year, you had kids in class online, but they were on campus and they could swim. Okay.
Yeah, we had our entire team back on campus, but the entire student population was online. So it really kind of got rid of a lot of people on campus, and it allowed us to be in the pool and, getting tested regularly was great. And so we really were very, very lucky to be under kind of a different umbrella for
have those resources. Yeah.
Right. Compared to like, a normal swimming pool that's run by the city or run by the local area. So it was, so we were lucky in that regards. But when did I know we were going to have a season? Now you might think this is a joke, but literally when we were on deck at Pac-12s, I mean, that's how high stress it was. We, as a coaching staff in the Pac-12, all of us, we didn't really have a pool to go to until mid-January.
To have a meet.
To have a Pac-12 championship meet.
Yeah.
Some of the teams in the Pac-12 really didn't get many dual meets in. We were lucky enough where we went over to Idaho to swim Idaho in November. So that was our first meet. And then we were able to schedule a few in January and get ready for Pac-12s in February. So it was a much different season. And, again, I count our blessings for all the hard work of our athletic trainers, our doctors, everybody, administrators to get us in the water and going. And, there's always trials and tribulations throughout the whole season of, making sure you're being safe, making sure we're doing all these little things. We're wearing our masks 24/7. And I'm very proud of how our student athletes handled it. And they did a really good job. And hence why we probably had our best season ever.
Yeah, we're gonna get there because I mean,
don't want to get ahead of you.
Well, no, I do want to talk about that eventually. I do, following Pac-12s, and I think obviously there's a huge highlight there with Chloe Larson winning the 50 free and then going on to NCAAs, and especially cool for me having been on campus with you guys a couple of years ago. So I've kind of gotten to see like the progression of Chloe as a swimmer. And I remember being on deck at Pac-12s and having her go under 23 for the first time, and it's 2 years later to be going 22-1 and winning the Pac-12 meet. That's a crazy amount of improvement for a Division I athlete. Now that I started talking about it, let's just talk about it anyway.
Okay.
What do you I mean, what do you credit that to? Like, how does she improve that much?
That's 100% on her. Obviously she has been determined to continue to improve a lot. And, I, as a coach, I'm always looking at, okay, what do we do over the summer leading into the season, and how is that going to help us get better? So looking for continuous improvement from season to season, not taking a summer off into, your college season and then repeating that. So she was able to continue working out at home, South Dakota, back when all this was going on. So it was pretty wild for us to see her improvement. And so for her to be able to do that and continue the progression in the summer, when a lot of student athletes had to take time off and were back home and for safety reasons and everything, she was able to continue to lift, to continue to develop and get stronger. And so, when I got here to now, she has just shown consistent improvement of working little details, working on her breakout, working on trying to add some more water in buckets in her power, and being able to move from, okay, I'm getting stronger in the weight room. How do I move that into the pool? And so that progression really was her. I mean, as much as I would love to take credit for it, is her. She did the work. Our strength and conditioning coach, did a great job of changing things up for her and for our entire program. And so you could see on that big stage that she was ready to rock and roll. And it was quite fun. I mean, it was an amazing moment, but she did all the work. She has changed a lot, not only from a swimmer standpoint, from a fitness level, she's extremely fit. She worked on her diet over the summer and into the fall, and so she had made changes there, and you could tell when she was on the blocks at Pac-12s, and so she was able to put herself in a moment and handle that moment at a high level. And it was really cool. The Pac-12, when they were airing it and announcing it, they did a great job. It was a lot of fun to kind of watch that back again. But yeah, the moment was amazing, and it's all Chloe. And so it couldn't come to a better person. And when you look at her progression, she was 23.5 her senior year, 23.2, again, a tenth here or there, 23.2, I think her freshman year. And then you're right, she was just working on breaking 23. When I got here, I think she was like 23.0, 22.9, somewhere there, right around breaking it.
Yep.
And to see that progression from that 23.0, 22.9 to 22.6 to 22.1 has been great. And again, it's all because of her, and also trying to strengthen the things she's really good at. Right. She can jump. Yeah. Right. But also minimizing the things she's not very good at, which is underwater. So for her, it's getting out as far as we can over that water and getting up and swimming. And, trying to get her up in 3.0 off that start, I think that was a huge key for her, and not trying to stay underwater and just, continuously her velocity have it slow down. So once she
look, can I ask you about that? Like, was that hard? Because I feel like that you get into these trends in swimming, right? And obviously underwater is like huge. Swimming, like I'm old enough to have grown up when kicking off the wall, dolphin kicking off the wall was still like kind of optional. Like it was still like, hey, yeah, so look, hey, that guy does it. He's pretty good. Right. Like he's done it up. But then there's a bunch of people that were still doing like the Matt. If you will go back and watch like Matt Biondi swim 100 free, it's literally like looks like such an abrupt breakout for him to get up and start swimming. So, I mean, did you have any moments where you were like, should I be trying to get her to stay underwater because that's what everybody is doing? Or did she feel like I need to improve, like I need to get better at underwater kicking so I can stay under with all these people and like keep up with them? Maybe were there moments like that?
Right. Well, yeah. You always want to try and minimize those weaknesses. And that was one. So we're like, hey, let's work on ankle flexibility. We're going to working on that up dolphin kick, that, the back part of that dolphin kick, because everybody can kick forward or down when you're on your stomach. And so we just kept working on it and working on it. And obviously she improved, but not at a real fast clip. So again, we knew she had to get up and swim. When you look at her strength and power is from her pull. It's not from her kick.
Interesting.
And we even had a conversation where we were working back end speed on a set. And I was like, just go to your legs. Just go to your legs, right? At the end of a race, go to your legs.
Yeah, of course.
Right? Especially focusing on trying to get that 100 freestyle down. And she literally was like, okay, I'm going to go to my legs. And she was about a second off what her back end speed should be. And she was not happy with the coach. And that's fine. I'm not going to be right.
Yeah.
100% of the time. In fact, I find, it's trial and error. And so she's like, Matt, I want to do it again. I want to do that whole round again. And I was like, okay, I'm not going to tell her no.
Sure.
So she does it again. There's a little bit of technique work in the beginning, and then we kind of hit that speed. And she's literally a second faster.
And she's just ripping it with her arms, basically.
Right, right. And she was like a 24 mid from a push. And I remember the days when 24 off the blocks all out was hard to do, right, in practice.
Sure.
So obviously she's done a great job. So she rips that, and I'm like, so what did you do? I'm like, well, Matt, I just worked on my upper body. Go to my upper body. And I'm like, okay, that's your new thing. We're not going to go to our legs. We're gonna go to straight arm. And again, there's some great swimmers that have done this for years, where the last 15, they really just put their head in line and work their shoulder driven freestyle. And so, she's been working on that, and, she's done such a great job. So yeah. So obviously trying to get better at her kicking in her underwaters, but also making sure we're getting her through that water as fast as we can. And so, one of the things that Kate Moore, our assistant here, she did a great job, was adding some blast surf kicks, some really fast, streamline kicking off a wall that I think has really helped her as well, and helped our entire program. And so just adding these little things here and there, not only during tough sets, but also during warm down, trying to blast legs a little bit and then cool down. I think it has been a really good, a really great addition, and an area where we've actually improved. But, getting back to Chloe, it was come up. Don't try and spend 2 kicks, on top of the water. Just get up and through and go. And so every time we practice our Stars Race breakout, we try and be up at 3:0.
Wow.
Yeah. So you're talking, and she's entering the water pretty far, pretty close to those flags. So she's up, she's hitting the water and up quick.
Yeah. So. Yeah. I mean, I don't know what, if you time 15 meters, but I'm just thinking for people listening. Yeah. Like, people who are elite and kick all the way to 15 meters, I would say, like, elite women maybe are somewhere in like a 5 mid range to a 15 meter mark. So you're talking, got to be out at 3:0. And if she's going to race with all those other people from wherever she is to the 15 meter mark, she's got to swim there and be around the same point.
Right. And and I still remember this day, as we were preparing for Pac-12s, obviously working a lot of relay exchanges to 15, and she was hitting those. And I'm just like, okay, we're just going to keep that under her hat. I mean, previously during the dual meet season, she broke the pool record twice. One of them, she knew she was going to, the first time she did it, she knew she was going to do it.
Right.
And that was held by an Olympian. Wow. And she did it by, I don't know, 0.3. And I was just like, dude, really? So, which was awesome. It was a pleasant surprise. And then we had another dual meet where it was like, okay, last dual meet of the season, we're focusing on seniors, no big deal. Wear a suit if you want. Because at that point, we're like, this could be your last meet. We don't know.
how many racing opportunities are you going to get? Like
exactly, which is a little different from the way we look at things during a normal year, where you have plenty of racing opportunities and we don't wear suits all that much. But this year everything was kind of thrown upside down. So she got up there and she beat the time she previously had by another 2/10. And we're just like, and some of her teammates and the staff, she gets in the zone behind that block.
Sure.
And she's tall, she's strong, and you wouldn't want to mess with her. And she's the nicest person on the face of the planet.
That's right.
She's so nice. She's so sweet.
Yep.
But she gets in that zone and I'm like, gosh, I'm kind of scared, standing over here and she's on our team. So, but no, she did awesome. And yeah, some of those changes we had to do for her to be in a position to race and get up and go. And
So she's sticking around for the summer. She's qualified for Olympic trials. Yes.
No, she's a Pac-12 champion who's not qualified for the Olympic trials.
So she's still got to qualify. Wow.
Yes. Still need to qualify. Yeah.
Okay.
She's 0.06 from 2 summers ago.
So it's been a little while since she swam a long course.
Just a little bit.
Just a bit. All right. Okay. What is like, as somebody who has been around your team a little bit, and for people like who are listening to this podcast, and maybe they're hearing you for the first time, I have another podcast with Matt where we sort of like do history biography of Matt and him starting to coach at Washington State. So that's why we're not doing it this time. Of course, I thought I'd drop that here 20 minutes in or whatever.
So everyone out there can go back and listen to it.
Right, exactly. If you want to go back and listen to that and get some more of the history and stuff. But, I think one of the challenges you faced starting to coach there was getting more people to swim over the summer in Pullman, basically. What is the pitch? How do you try to motivate kids on your team to commit to that?
Well, I think it just goes back to the fundamentals of being successful.
Yeah.
Like all of the student athletes that come into college, whether you're, from Pullman or wherever you're from, coming in, you are successful because of swimming in the summer. I mean, it's year-round swimming.
Yeah. And
then all of a sudden you get to college and it's like, well, I made it. I'm good. And that's not our focus anymore. Like making it is not what we're talking about as our program, as our family. We're elevating our expectations. And so it just goes back to, and look, it doesn't have to be, our swimmers, they don't have to stay here and train.
Right.
They can go home and train as long as they're training at that elite level, because guess what? Everyone in our conference is training at a high level and they're very, very successful coming in. So we're talking about Olympians. We're talking about people that are qualifying for NCAAs as freshmen. So you better believe they're swimming at a high level. They're training at a high level. They have that focus and mindset. And so it's just changing our focus.
Yeah.
And if that's not something that you think you can do or want to do or willing to do, that's fine. I can't make you swim over the summer, but we're elevating those expectations. And now that you can win a Pac-12 championship at Washington State, our first one ever this past year, I think it's fair to say, if you don't, you don't come in prepared, ready to rock and roll, you might not make the travel team. Or Chris, you're getting a call, buddy.
I know. Forgot to unplug my phone before the podcast starts. I'm gonna get points deducted from my boss.
No, that's all right.
Here we go. Unplugged.
Hopefully, it's not a star swimmer coming to your club. But again, it's just changing the direction of what we've done in the past, what we're doing moving forward, and that's training at this high level, trying to be at a national caliber meet every summer, and prepare and have that be the springboard into the next season. And so one of my biggest things is, look, this is where we're going. Everyone is welcome.
Yeah.
but not everyone is going to be allowed to be at this high level. And, I read a lot. I try and read a lot about John Wooden and all these amazing coaches, which, if I can, be at 1% of what they were, that'd be great. But it talks about, look, sitting on the bench speaks a lot, and it has powerful meaning. Yeah. And so, I'm not someone who's going to be punishing people, but at the same point, if you can't come in and help our family get better, you're probably not going to be swimming on travel trips or, at the level that we expect, that this family expects. So getting that buy-in of, look, you need to swim over the summer, and you need to do it at a high level, is something that we talk about. But I mean, Chris, that the NCAA says you can't mandate it.
Yeah, right.
So it's continuously getting people to buy into the culture change that we've been doing over the past 3 years. And each year we've gotten better and better and better. And I mean, you can look at our GPA has gotten better and better every year, to the highest it's been ever in our history this past semester.
What was the GPA this past semester?
3.61. So, again, that just doesn't happen. You have to set that culture, that expectation, and continuously work at it. And so you look at like our point totals at Pac-12s every year has gotten better until this year, which is our highest ever. Yeah. First Pac-12 champion. All those things, I think are our trajectory of where our family's going and where we want to continue to progress towards. And I'm just super excited for everyone associated with our program and, putting that hard work in, being safe, staying healthy, but also buying into that idea of coming in and working hard and really building those relationships. I think that's really important.
Yeah, I've probably come full circle on this. I mean, this year has been like a big learning year for me. It's just been it came back into a new environment where, I mean, I've been it almost been 10 years where I was my own boss. I was the head coach of my club, and then I was running my own business. So to come into working for somebody else, I just had to, by nature, I had to be open-minded because I wasn't in charge. I wasn't making the final decision on things. It's my job to execute. Certainly I get to have input, but I think attendance is one thing that I would say I was somebody who didn't really like to take attendance in my previous coaching career. I just thought, like, look, if this is all based on, if I need to take attendance basically to measure whether people are going to practice, I'm not addressing the sort of real issue which is people aren't coming to practice. Right. But because of the pandemic, first off, we've had to take attendance. We need to know who's at the pool every day in case.
Exactly. Just in case.
We need to notify, like there's somebody tests positive. We got to tell people, who was in the lane next to them, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. We need to know who's here. So actually I had to be pretty diligent about that. And the good part, having that taken out of my hands, is thought, like, how can I use this tool? And I find myself more and more, like having been at some competitions with some kids, and they come back and maybe they're not happy with the way they swam, and I can like pull up on my phone, and I can go, let's look at your practice attendance. Well, you're showing up to 60% of the practices we're offering. I don't think it's reasonable for you to expect to improve.
No, exactly. Right.
And like, I finally, maybe now at 37-year-olds in my career, I've gotten comfortable just saying that and having that, like, I'm not going to tell you about what your freestyle, how your catch looks and you're kicking.
It's showing up.
Step one is you've got to show up. Once you start showing up, consistently for a while, then we can start talking about every other thing.
Absolutely.
That's going on. And
absolutely. Right. It's the same thing. Like if you want to take your summer off, you're missing opportunities to not only, one, learn about yourself, two, push yourself to the highest level, three, when you look at your experience in college, you're missing out on 4 seasons.
Yeah.
Right. Because you have your 4 college seasons and you have your 4 summer seasons, and you're missing out on half of that experience of figuring out what works, what doesn't work. You know what I mean? And so, yeah, that's a huge one. And, I've noticed that a lot of student athletes, they want immediate success, and that's not what this sport's about. You can go an entire season working your tail off, and then when you're getting ready for a big moment, it might not happen.
Right.
And
well,
not
especially when you get
that.
to the higher level, right? I mean, like I still coach kids who are fairly novice. Some of them can improve because because their best time is 2:30 in the 200 freestyle, and even if they show up to 66% of practices, they can get down to 220. Right.
But what are their bodies doing physiologically? They're growing like weeds. They're getting taller. They're getting stronger, and it doesn't matter the gender, the age. At that age, you're going to get better just by showing up those 60% of the time.
But if you've been training year round for years and you get to college, it is absolutely kind of a must that you continue at minimum training year round.
Right, minimum.
to expect to continue to improve. So I think that's I guess I'm trying to help you with your pitch here. I don't know.
But you're right. And then on top of that, it's not just the training, it's your diet. It's your sleep, it's your hydration, and all of that comes into play. And you might think, well, my coach says all the time, but I don't buy it. All those really elite level people, they don't do any of that stuff. They do. And Chloe Larson is a person that has done all of that. She has changed her nutrition. She, sleeping obviously is huge, and so is hydration, and she's done such a good job with all that. So I mean, and that's why she's a Pac-12 champion. And Chris, we were going wild on the pool deck when she got off that start and was up first and hit the 25 wall first. So we were going crazy. And the video on Pac-12, they sent it to us, and the announcers, Amy Van Dyken announcing that.
Oh wow!
Oh yeah, it was so cool to have someone that I watched swimming at elite level growing up was so cool to be able to meet her after that event, and have her talking about how this is Washington State's first Pac-12 champion, and it was amazing. And we had one of our Russ, Russ, he was videotaping, and at the end the camera's just, you can't see anything because he's shaking and we're jumping up and down. It was so much fun. It was awesome. So.
That's great. I mean, I of course I texted you right after it happened. I got a great text message back from you. I'm not going to embarrass you by sharing it with the world, but
Thank you.
like, it to me, it really showed like that you're all in to coaching this team and these kids.
It was so much fun.
Yeah. So I want to ask you about something, and maybe I don't know what you're going to say, and I probed you with a little bit, but I'm working, as I said, I'm working on a thesis, and like we just saw. So last week on a podcast, I was talking about the fact that Nikki Kett out at Michigan got out of coaching. We just saw Lance Asti. I don't, maybe it's not fair to say some of these people are getting out of coaching. I assume that Lance might be doing something involved in swimming. I'm somebody, if you count by that got out of coaching, and went and ran my own business for a while. So I don't want anybody listening to think that I'm like passing judgment on it. I'm more interested in what this means for the landscape of college coaching, that you have very talented, very successful coaches that are opting out of like elite coaching jobs. I mean, being the associate head coach of an SEC program, in the case of Lance, like that is an elite coaching job.
Yeah.
And I'm worried about it, honestly. Like I'm worried that there's that there's some talent draining out, that, that the expectations of what's going on with college, with the expansion of recruiting and stuff, is just sort of like pressing on people, and they're looking at it and thinking like, gosh, is it really worth it to do this? What do you think when you see stuff like that?
It is tough. Not only from the hours that we put in as coaches, but what our families go through. And I mean, it, I think coaches out there know it. but I think it's trying to find that happy medium. And some coaches will say, well, there's no happy medium. But how do you, the question is, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time, right?
Right.
I mean, that's the way I feel sometimes when we are, recruiting all the time. We're trying to help change the history of Washington State, of what we've been as a program, and how do we keep moving forward? And it's finding those little things that we can keep improving on. Great.
Right.
Did that, competing at the highest level. Our equation for success here is family first, academic second, and competing at the highest level third. And so as a coach, I try and live by that as well. And there's times where I don't spend enough time with my family, and there's other times where I try and leave my phone, because if I'm close to my phone, I'm going to be on it. Sure. I leave my phone and we go do what we're supposed to. We go have some family time. And so for me, it is a little bit concerning, because there's some really good coaches, some really, really good coaches, a lot better than me, that have left. Lance being one of them, and I texted him and congratulated him on the next chapter and moving forward, and he sent me a text back saying, thanks, I'm excited to see where this goes, and so you're always going to have that, especially at the highest level. But I mean, you see coaches that step away from the college realm who now are a club, who are doing club at elite level, or just, their pro group. And, I think it says a lot with a lot of the time management, a lot of the things that are put on college coaches of managing your student athletes and making sure, not only are you helping grow them as people, but as students, as athletes. And, there's a lot that goes into that. And so my hat goes off to everyone this year. Coaches, seriously, administrators, swimmers, everybody. I mean, this year was, when we were on deck at Pac-12s, all I tried to do was thank everybody I saw. I mean, and we were at University of Houston, and they did an awesome job hosting us. And we really liked that facility, and just being able to be there was the most important thing, for us, and having everyone be safe. And we came out of it. Everyone was safe. We tested often, and travel there and back, and we're able all to go to NCAAs that qualified and be healthy. So, and same at NCAAs, everyone that was there. It was just so nice to kind of be back to normal, I guess.
It definitely makes you appreciate what you got, so much more. I mean, I do think there's been so many moments for gratitude. I remember the first time I was just back on deck, just coaching a swim meet this year, felt amazing. And I think in a previous version of my life, of course we had I think 3 or 4 sessions in the day, because we were keeping a limited number of people. So I was coaching for 13 hours at this meet. And a previous version of myself would have been like, oh man, what a slog this is. You know what I mean? I would have, a little piece of me would have admitted ugh. And I was just like, this is great. I'm so happy to be here. So it is an opportunity, I do think, to reset some of these things. And maybe what we're going to see is that some of these coaches, they take what I would like to see selfishly, maybe because I never want to feel like the door has been completely shut for even myself to coach in college swimming again.
Right.
But what I would love to see is maybe some people take some time off, basically take a sabbatical. Maybe it's a 5-year sabbatical, you know what I mean? And then sort of and come back to it, having experienced something else, learned, done some other things, and be able to bring that back, maybe be at a different stage of their life. I mean, somebody, you have a 2-year-old? Is she
she's going to be 2. Yeah, she's 20 months, about soon to be 21 months.
Okay, you have an almost 2-year-old. I've got a 2-year-old and a 7-year-old. I know that time period too just puts a lot of pressure. I would love to see some people who, they get their kids off to college, and maybe that's their time to sort of re-engage.
To come on back.
Come on back and do some of this stuff. So
and you know what? The silver lining, we got to find the silver lining in everything. My silver lining is her being able to work from home, do recruiting calls, do Zoom calls, walking around campus, all that fun stuff. but being able to be here with her and my wife has been really, really amazing. And, I again, feel very, very blessed.
Yeah, you get to see. I mean, you get to see what it like. Well, I'm not, now here. I'm supposing, but I don't think you're going to disagree with me. But you get to see what a difference it makes in a child's life that they see you all the time. Like, they're just it's almost like, And I had this experience because I was super away for probably the first, like, up until my daughter was Eloise's age, and then I switched gears and was home quite a bit more. And man, like, I could just tell she was happier.
Right.
Just to see me all the time.
and to be able to say I was there for first steps or, words and
right.
putting words together and climbing all over everything.
Yeah.
It's been awesome, but it's, a lot more grays too. But no,
you do have more gray in that beard than last time I saw you. Yeah.
I'm noticing that. I'm just glad I have hair, that's all I can, whether it's gray or not. I'm just happy I have hair. So
that's good. That's good. It's so that part of it, I think I'm hopeful that that maybe this is just part, if we look at it again for silver lining, this is part of sort of like a change process in college swimming, and that it's not all bad, and that it's not just like, people are getting stressed out and getting out, that, it's
right.
Maybe it's part of a greater movement that swim coaches are leading more balanced lives than
I hope so.
In the past.
And being able to, one thing that I love being able to do in the Pac-12, I feel like I can talk to any other head coach, assistant coach, pick their brain. And one thing I hear Terry saying is I'm looking forward to this long weekend where I'm out, my phone's off, and I'm just going to go do this. And hearing other coaches again in the Pac-12 talk about, their son getting into basketball, and, to me, that just says a lot, and that means a lot to be able to say it's okay to be able to unplug and take this weekend, take this time to just be with family. So,
yeah. So if we keep looking forward to the summer, where are you looking at to qualify swimmers for Olympic trials? Like, what's the
anywhere and everywhere? Yeah, anywhere and everywhere.
Where can you go?
Exactly. I know that the Pacific Northwest has been pretty tight and shut down. Federal Weight's been shut down. But we're trying to get to a long course meet over in Utah. Okay. Trying to up another. We had Taylor McCoy go to the Pro Swim Series out in Mission Viejo this last week. Best time in 100 back, which was awesome. So I'm first meet of the season, so we're excited about that. And then finish off with another Pro Swim Series in Indy. We hope to be able to do that and get prepared for trials. So whatever that looks like, again, with where we're at, you this could be the last meet of the season. You never know. So we'll see.
Is there any part of that, like, is there any, like, I know I was listening to you talk about putting on suits for that last dual meet, and I know you're kind of a conservative, old school person when it comes to suits.
Right.
Is there any part of this that you want to carry forward to another season? Like,
to be honest, not really. No. No. But yes and no. So obviously the whole pandemic, you can get rid of that, but being able
let's
to
not have a pandemic again.
No more pandemics. To be able to suit up in specific points of the season, I think would probably help with our family a little bit more.
Yeah.
Because that brings a little bit more confidence. When you have confidence, you're a little bit more relaxed, things like that. So that's pretty important to me. But again, suiting up for every meet, no, absolutely not. I like that to be like a Christmas morning sort of, hey, look, open your present and fast swims right there. Not every time you touch the water, you're racing in a suit, because, body line is so important. There's so many more factors you can work on in practice, as you're preparing to put suits on and things like that. So,
yeah. All right. I know you got to go soon, so I'm going to give you the last couple lightning round questions. Then I'm going to let you get on with your day. First up, okay, you do, as I've noted a couple times in this podcast, you do have a wonderful beard. Give me your top 3 swimming coaching beards. Who are like the 3 guys you look up to in the beard department?
I don't know. I feel like everyone's been masked, so
right. So you can't even see this year.
Yeah,
this is hard
unless it's like down here.
Did you have you seen Dave Salo's beard since he quit USC? Like he looks incredible. Oh my god, you gotta check that out.
One of my buddies, Brian Welter, he's coaching down in Texas. His beard's like down here, so that's a pretty good one. I'm trying to think who.
Your wife says no to that. You don't. You can't
I did that for Elle's first first birthday. Jeez, and it was about down to here. Yeah, it was a pretty good length. So I had to get rid of that. So I don't know. I don't really have any bearded favorites, I guess.
And then finally, just for gossip's sake, who do you think Matt Credit should hire?
Well, you obviously.
No.
I don't know if he's going to promote from within.
Yeah.
I tried. I don't know if he's going to promote from within. I mean, he obviously has a great staff. I know they're going to be sad to see Lance leave, but I honestly have no idea. They have got a great alumni base, so there's got to be an alumni out there who's coaching. But obviously, I think they'll be in a pretty good spot, whether whoever they do hire or promote from within. But you never know. The coaching carousel's a wild beast, I guess.
I think it's going to be crazy wild this year. I think there's like a year. It's basically 2 years in one in terms of some of this stuff. So I'm going to let you go. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Chris. I appreciate you.
I appreciate you. I'm really glad you could come on and do this. And good luck. I'll be watching for those trials meets, cheering. You get some more kids to meet. And
same with you guys. Best of luck. And stay in touch.